Watanabe, Aaron Baines, Stanley Johnson got to go. I don't care how it happens, whether you waive them or trade them. I mean, I don't feel like you can even trade them for a bag of chips or even a couple mutton rolls right now, to be honest.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Airborne Podcast. I'm your host, Ajit. As Big Boy Browse with us, we got Thanos back on the podcast. But holy hell, the Raptors just forgot how to win. I don't understand anything happening right now. The whole team looks completely broken, and I mentioned that in the last podcast. But this is just atrocious. This is worse than what I could have imagined the season was. Bro, they're getting pounded by Houston, who was on a 20-game losing streak, and now we look like a bunch of clowns because we gave them the first W in over almost close to 2 months. And it wasn't just a close game. They got murked, 117-99, couldn't even score 100 points. Pascal Siakam gets fined $50K today for talking shit to Nick Nurse. And that's back-to-back losses to two horrible teams who more than likely are not going to make the playoffs and are more lottery-bound than a playoff contender. And Ujiri, take it away. Show them that jersey because I feel like that's where we are right now.
Yeah, we're twisted. We're lost in upside down world right now.
That's where I feel like I'm at right now. In 2009 when we drafted DeMar. And we had Turkoglu on our team, bro.
Our season is drier than that jersey. but bro, I don't understand. This feels like when DeRozan first got drafted in 2009 and we couldn't find ourselves getting a W. We had the biggest sign of Hedo Turkoglu in the offseason. The man only came just to do some Primo Pasta commercials alongside Andrea Bargnani and just bounce. He had better interviews in actual ball games when he was with the Raptors. And this feels like we're back to square one. Like, this whole team does not look like they're connected at all, whether it's on the offensive end or defensive end. Yeah. And at this point, if we lose to a team, if we almost get 20-point mercied by a team that's on a 20-game losing streak, it's time to clear house. Someone needs to go. There needs to be a change. Bring some new faces because it's getting absolutely ridiculous at this point. And I know we joke around because, you know, that's how we are. But at the same time, I'm actually pissed off that they're losing like this. Like, I honestly thought, like I mentioned this I think a couple podcasts ago, that there's no way they're going to give up these two games to these two teams.
Yeah.
After the Utah game.
Yeah, and we almost won that game. It's like we're so trash that we play to the level of the competition. Like, when we play against shitty teams, we do shitty on both ends. And then when we play against good teams who are actually playoff contenders or even title contenders, that's when we bring our A game.
Yeah. I don't know.
But nothing is resulting to a W, so it's like something needs to change. Colin Sexton goes off for 36 points on the Raptors, straight to the dome. He almost had a 40-piece against us, and John Wall gets his first triple-double. I think first triple-double of the season. I mean, respects to John Wall for blessing me up for fantasy, but like,
I don't know what to say at this point. We're just lacking on the offense and defensive end. This team doesn't seem like they're really like about it. They feel like they're just, I don't know, they're just like there to just play the game and just hope for the best.
Let's not like cut them out that quick, right? Like, I know, like there's just so much factors and variables that just came into play that like it wasn't for COVID, 100% we would have still been riding the high and like kept going and like, you know, who knows, maybe keep winning more games, right? But because of COVID and all this stupid shit, like we're taking a toll. But I don't know. I don't think like these guys. I think there's so many factors like mental, physical, and fatigue that just come all into play.
We're not writing them out. It's just more so the fact that we faced the first team in the Western Conference and it was like a 2-point game loss. And somehow we faced the team that's dead last in the West and we lose by what, 20 points almost? Is 18. It more than 20?
18.
Like, bro, like, come on. Like, they haven't won a game in like so long. They lost 20 games in a row. Like, how are you gonna lose this game out of all games? And then on top of that, the next two games are even more tough. We're gonna face Denver and then we're facing Phoenix Suns on Friday. Honestly, like you said, these are two must-win games. And just seeing them lose this is just, it's so depressing.
the Raptors were on such a good streak before the COVID situation. We're not bashing them because they're ass. We're bashing them because we know what the potential is. And there's still that team that has that championship DNA to the point where they can't be this bad. Like, they obviously didn't forget how to win, but clearly their spirit's broken. The bench is nowhere to be found. And the stress on the starters, you could see it now, obviously. And Lowry and Norman Powell, even though they showed how good they were in those games when OG, Fred VanVleet, and Pascal were out, like, they clearly needed help. And they didn't have enough. And it doesn't seem like even when they got the players back that it's even doing anything for them. Yeah, they're scoring and whatnot, but it's not translating to W. So I feel like right now, I don't think Nick Nurse is on the hot seat, but I feel like there needs to be some sort of change in the locker room with the players. Masai, Ujiri, Bobby Webster, get your asses on the phone, start making some calls. We need to see some new players in that locker room and, try to go for the best deal. I feel like Norm and Kyle Lowry at this point are going to be gone. I feel like they are.
Yeah, I feel like I strongly believe Norman will be gone by Thursday.
The question is, for me, I think you might be more confident on that end. I feel like I just don't know the timing of when they're going to be gone. But I feel like both of them are going to be gone.
I think Norm is most likely going to get traded due to the fact that he's playing really well for us and we can get more assets for him. Larry, on the other hand, is kind of tough because of his contract, but it is possible. We just need a fresh face. That's all I can say.
Going back over the Cleveland game, like I keep bashing this guy, but Aaron Baines, like, there were so many plays where this guy came off the bench and he was just missing layups, he was missing like shots, like it was just too slow, like I keep mentioning this, but he doesn't contest the shot, right? And then that allows those shooters to shoot freely, right? So we need to, our biggest issue right now, I don't think it's these guys, it's the fact that we don't have a proper center that can facilitate and help us out. And then when you make Siakam, all these other guys play the role of a 5, then they're not perfecting their role as a 1, 2, 3, or 4. You know what I mean? So once we find that missing element to fulfill the 5, I think we should be fine. But hurry up, man. There's like 2 more days left, so hurry up.
I mentioned this earlier. Watanabe, Aaron Baines, Stanley Johnson got to go. I don't care how it happens, whether you waive them or trade them. I mean, I don't feel like you can even trade them for a bag of chips or even a couple mutton rolls right now, to be honest.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is, I'm okay. I'm actually happy with how Pascal performed today because, even though he pouted about it in the Cleveland game and got fined for it, for talking shit about Nick Nurse or talking shit to Nick Nurse, he performed 35 minutes. He had a double-double, 21 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal and a block. Shout out to Fred VanVleet playing another 40-plus minute game. And the Raptors, even though he's coming back from COVID, he had 27 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and 4 steals. Norman Powell, the last couple of games, he hasn't scored over 20 points, but he's at 18 against Cleveland, 19 against the Houston Rockets. His value's still up there. A lot of teams are interested in him. The Brooklyn Nets, the Boston Celtics, the Phoenix Suns, you can name it. They need a scorer off the bench or maybe even in the starting unit. So we know there's value there, and we feel like we can get some assets back for that. But Braz, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't want to trade Powell. Really straight up, I don't want to trade him. But if it means, because I just feel like we're just panicking and then we're just giving him up for pieces we don't need. We don't need a 2 or 3 or 4. We don't need that shit right now. And I keep mentioning we need a solid 5. So if we can get a 5, okay, fine, I'm all in. But at this point, I don't want to trade Powell. He's our main asset. He's our main scorer, shooter, whatever you want to say it. He's our go-to, right? So I think we gotta change our perspective. Make Siakam no longer the 1. One. I mean, a number 1 go-to, right? Drop him to 3 or 4. Make Powell the 1. And see how it goes, right? Because I feel like Siakam, you've already invested a lot into him. We should give up now.
I would honestly say that while the value is still high, I don't think Norman's ceiling is higher than what it's at right now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we could bait a team into giving us more assets than what he's really worth. And I feel like we need to improve our bench. That's key. Our starting unit, I feel like with Fred VanVleet, OG, and Siakam, there's still enough to have that serious scoring punch in the first unit. I think it's our bench that's an issue because when these guys come out of the game, it's like no one's there that's playing at a consistent pace. No one's playing consistently enough for Nick Nurse to trust, and that's kind of weighing back on him and making him look like a shitty coach. Like you guys mentioned before, like the rotations, he can't go with the solid rotation because no one's giving him that consistent play.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
I feel like if you want to keep Norman, they could get rid of Pascal.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't think this team right now, the way it's currently constructed, I mean, I know for a fact we're not going to have Lowry, Norman Powell. The way our starting unit is right now, it's not going to be how it's going to be either by deadline or the end of the season.
I think I agree with what you said about Powell, but I don't see them. I don't think Masai is going to trade either VanVleet, OG, or Siakam. I think what they should do is trade Norman, get some bench, like some scoring off the bench, and then do a sign and trade with Lowry free agency if it's tough to do during the deadline. And then, I mean, I would honestly go for a lottery pick at this point. Get a decent player from the from the draft this upcoming season, and just go from there. Because our starting lineup is all right. Like, it's just pretty much a bench. What you're saying, so that's what I believe. And maybe Boucher too. Like, you can see what you can get from Boucher as well.
Yeah, like other than Aaron Baines and Lowry, Boucher and Powell are the oldest on the team. So even though they're not old, like really old, you can still get younger assets that can provide what they provide at a cheaper cost, maybe.
We got to sell someone that's high at value, right? So we can get more back. So that's why I don't agree with what Brad said, because Powell is the highest tradable piece we have. I feel like we can get more.
I mentioned this earlier in many podcasts. I'm like, we want to trade Powell when he's trash, but then we can't trade him because his value is so little. So when he's playing at a peak like right now, we might as well get rid of him and get some good pieces back, or at least a good, solid piece in general. Like Victor Oladipo is definitely getting out of Houston. I know if he's healthy, he has a higher ceiling than Norman Powell.
Oh, yeah.
Or even if when Karis LeVert was on the market, we could have went for him.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is. I did want to say OG unfortunately did not play today because of the second night of a back-to-back issue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was more rest than there was no injury, but it was more rest than anything. And then Nick Nurse inserts Stanley Johnson into the lineup. That man
doesn't do jack shit.
16 minutes, has 0 points, 3 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocks. I mean, he's had flashes, but like when you don't have guys playing consistently, like we're gonna have these little bipolar moments where we talk shit one day and hype him up the next. And even Chris Boucher, in 22 minutes, he didn't even score in double figures. He had 10 boards, but he only had 4 points, 0 assists, 0 steals, and he had a couple blocks.
I think Siakam had a quiet 21 tonight. I felt like he could do much better. He missed a few open like fast break layups, which he would have made.
He's been doing that all season though.
Yeah, but like just seeing it now, bro. Like I don't know. I'm just so pissed we lost to Houston, man. Like shit.
We're the laughing stock right now. We look like a bunch of clowns giving up. We're the cause. They got their first W against us. You saw John Wall and Steven Silas celebrating, dapping up each other. It was embarrassing to watch.
Yeah, I know.
I just want to get into the Houston Rockets stats and talk about the stats in general, and then we'll wrap this up. Christian Wood in 28 minutes had 19 points, 4 rebounds, an assist, and steal. He didn't break anyone's legs today like he did Draymond Green the other night. Sterling Brown in 33 minutes had a double-double, 20 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block. Jayshawn Tate.
He blessed me up in fantasy.
In 40 minutes, he had 22 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. John Wall in 36 minutes had triple-double, 19 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks.
He was 8 for 30. And we still won.
I know. He definitely blessed me up with the field goal percentage. And Daniel House was the other guy who scored in double digits for them. In 36 minutes, had 12 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists. Yeah, that was, for the most part, those were their leading scorers. And for the game, the Raptors shot only 25% from the three-point arc, 10 of 40. And Houston, they allowed them to shoot 39% for 14 of 36. Field goal percentage-wise, the Raptors allowed Houston to shoot 46%, 41 and 90 from the field. And they only shot 42%. And they were 37 of 87 from the field. Free throws, we shot only 79%, 15 of 19. And they shot 81% for 21 and 26. You know, we've been getting calls here and there now, so that's a good sign. But the rebounding wasn't bad today either. I mean, we were only a -3. They had 47. We had 44. And offensive rebounds, we were a -2. They had 10. We had 8. Assists, we were a -9. We had 19. They had 28. Steals, they had 7. We had 6 over -1. Blocks, we were -2. They had 7. We had 5. And turnovers, even though we're taking care of the ball, we're still allowing them to score a lot off the transition. They had 11 turnovers. We had 13, so they were +2. Points in the paint, we were a +4. We had 52 points in the paint. They had 48. Second chance points, they had 14. We had 13. So we were a -1. And fast break points, we were actually a +12. Wow, that's actually surprising. We had more fast break points than them. We were +12, 19 to 7. And points off turnovers, they had 21. We had 16, so they were a +5. Their biggest lead was 18. Ours was 7. And fouls-wise, we were pretty close. We had 24 and they had 21. Bravs, I want to take it to you real quick. Who is the guy we're throwing under the bus?
So, I had to wall you because I don't want to punch you in the face, but no, real shit. I don't know. I feel like Aaron Baines for me, just because like there were so many plays where like we're giving the ball, he'll miss consistently, and then but there were plays where he'll dunk it in. But I would definitely say Aaron Baines is someone I'll throw under the bus. Just because like you are hired as a 5. Right, you come in, you're supposed to dominate the boards, grab rebounds, those inside hooks, inside shots, those are all yours, right? But if you miss it and like airball it or you fan it or like you miss it or even like there's one play where it's like threw him a nice inside pass and like catch the ball, man. Pay attention, catch the ball, right? We're scared to let the ball pass him out of bounds, like turnover, right? Like I don't know, like to me he's on the bus.
He's definitely like you can't trust him on the offensive side at all. But even Chris Boucher didn't have a good game as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Lowry in 36 minutes had 17 points. He had 17 points for the game. Like everyone, only Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam scored over 20. But Kyle Lowry in 36 minutes had 17 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 blocks. And Norman Powell in 35 minutes had 19 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. So like they're not getting production overall from everybody. And we rely so much on the starters. They put so much pressure on them that, you know, it is what it is. I know things need to change. Aaron Baines needs to go. And
I feel like our whole bench needs to go, man.
Yeah. 100%.
And like Baines, I'm not really feeling Bembry anymore. Watanabe, Terrence Davis, like just those guys. Like I don't want to see them on our team anymore.
Perhaps as much as you want Aaron Baines on that bus, I think I got to go with Boucher. He didn't have himself a good game. He didn't. 4 points, 10 rebounds. Star player, I'm giving it to Fred VanVleet because he's been steady Freddy for the most part since coming back, and he's doing his best part to hold the team together. Yeah. He's one of their biggest leaders on their team, not size-wise, but competitive-wise. But I think this 2-guard lineup with Lowry and VanVleet, along with the small forward like Norman, is not working. Like they can't. Their defensive coverage is just horrible.
Yeah.
Like if they had length with a defensive anchor at the center position, I think that they would be able to do a lot better, and they wouldn't have these like lapses on defense.
Yeah, I also don't think Siakam can play the 5. I think that's why he's struggling a bit.
Yeah. And I also feel like Norman Powell shouldn't be playing the 3. He's a 2-guard. He's only 6'3".
Yeah.
But because we're playing Lowry and VanVleet so much together, like they're small too. They're like barely 6 feet. So like, we don't have that size on the perimeter. Even though VanVleet's one of the best defenders and Lowry's a feisty one. I mean, how long is it really going to work for, right?
Yeah.
when those are your main guys, you can't rely on them to do it 48 minutes a game. So I get it, but at the same time, we need to get a couple wins going here. This already feels like a lost season. It sounds like a broken tape recorder, but we need to get something going.
Make some moves.
Yeah, so to double check with you guys, so we agree. Chris Boucher is the guy we're throwing under the bus tonight. And star player of the game, we're going to go with Steady Freddy. Steady Freddy. All right, any final thoughts before we call it a night? Because at this point, I feel like the Raptors are going to go into a double-digit losing streak because we got Denver, Phoenix coming up.
We're facing Denver on Wednesday, and Friday we're facing Phoenix.
Okay. So we have Denver and Phoenix coming up, and I just feel like – and the Trailblazers. So I feel like those three look like this might go to 12 games.
Yeah. Unless we make a move.
But let's just based on what Masai and Bobby Webster usually do, they don't make like mid-season trades a lot. Obviously, wishful thinking they do before these games come up, or by the time these games come up. But just when we come back on this podcast for these games, be prepared because it doesn't look too good right now, boys. It doesn't look too good at all. Any final thoughts, though?
No.
Siakam needs to start making his layups. It really pisses me off when I see him miss open layups.
You couldn't even wear your championship ring after this loss.
I can't. This loss, man. I can't. It's not meant to be today because we just lost to the shittiest team in the conference, in the Western Conference.
The James Harden-less Houston Rockets. All right, well, that's going to do it for this podcast. Appreciate everyone tuning in and checking it out. If you haven't liked it, like it already. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe already. What are you waiting for? You're slacking, bro. And we'll be back Wednesday night, hopefully, with some better vibes.
Please.
We keep saying better vibes, but we keep losing every single game. But on a bright note, we're playing a competitive team, so hopefully they bring their A game. If this team is currently constructed as it is going into that game. But till then, stay blessed, stay woke, and please, 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 stay safe. Peace.